Hey guys, and welcome to Semajically AI. This is the 14th episode, and we have our second time travel story, Time Tossed, Matt's incredible journey to 1963. It all started one busy Wednesday morning as Matt Bolan arrived at work while his boss was briefing the team on their jobs that day. He learned that he was to run errands all day as punishment for being late. So he got started immediately by hitting the streets to start as errand boy for his boss that day, as he rushed back and forth delivering things to other companies. The day went on as he did errand after errand and started being careless with his safety, as he rushed out instead of watching out, only to be struck by a car, knocking him down and causing him whack his head on the ground. His focus started to go blurry and he passed out. When he came to, he found himself sitting in a little green spot on a bright sunny day. He stooped up and looked around himself, dazed and confused. The air around was fresh and he could smell the sea nearby and walked across to a beach full of people having fun with their families. He walked into the town and found himself surrounded by people dressed in clothes that looked at least 60 years out of date, and cars that looked like they should be at least 60 years old but looked brand new. How could this be possible, he thought as he processed what he saw. As he passed a newspaper stand and saw a newspaper dated for July the 25th, 1963, he stood staring at it, hardly daring to believe it. Was he mad or in a coma, or had he traveled back in time? He decided to keep these thoughts to himself as he stopped to talk to a policeman who was very friendly and concerned about him. He escorted him to the police station to question him, and that's when he had to tell him he wasn't from the area, or he was, but he was not from the time period. Intrigued, the policeman asked him what year he thought he was from, and he gave the possibility of him either sitting in a police station in 1963 or lying in a hospital bed in 2024, and none of this being real. The policeman laughed at him for thinking he was from 61 years in the future and locked him up, telling him what he was saying couldn't be true. Matt decided to show him his driver's license to prove his identity. The policeman looked at it in confusion at the birth date. November 6, 1998, he thought. Matt then showed him his mobile phone, which was the latest model of iPhone, which wouldn't be invented for another 60 years, and he himself wouldn't be born for another 35. Upon learning Matt was telling the truth, the police released him and offered him protection as he was going to be famous for being a time traveler. And sure enough, when the press found out about a young man from the future who was now stuck in a time that was not his own and reported on it, people wanted to meet Matt Bolan, the man from the future, and ask exactly how he ended up there. But that information was classified, so they started making up their own versions of the circumstances by which he ended up there. None of them were correct, not even close. How was he going to get home? There was no known way, other than to live through time until he'd aged back to that point.